This is 5 Minutes to Change Your Life. My name is Joanne Mallon. I'm an author and coach. I love helping people make wee changes that make a massive difference in their lives. Give me 5 minutes of your time today. Just might change your life. Hey there, what about you? Do you remember when you were a kid and you were just really bored? Like nothing was open on a Sunday, no smartphones, no internet. I think my generation, Generation X, we're the last cohort who can remember what it was like to be really bored. And now, 21st century life has trained us all to fill every empty moment. So we multitask constantly. We consume information non-stop. It's like we're trying to read the whole internet. And the second some kind of silence appears, some pause, we reach for stimulation, a dopamine hit. Like, these buggers who get their phones out when there's a quiet bit in the cinema. Don't get me started on them. But, here's the surprising part. Your brain may actually need and indeed benefit from boredom. Neuroscience suggests that moments of boredom can actually improve creativity, emotional regulation, and even focus. So today we're talking about why our brains crave boredom and how learning to tolerate it can help you to feel calmer, clearer, and more mentally present. First up, let's understand what boredom really is. Boredom is not simply nothing happening. It's a mental state where the brain is not being flooded with external stimulation. And in today's world, that's just incredibly rare because we have smartphones, notifications, streaming platforms, social media. They keep our wee brains busy, busy, busy and constantly activated. And, there's nothing wrong with entertainment or technology, but the problem is that our brains have not yet fully adapted to deal with that. They're still not really used to it because part of our brains are still in caveman mode. There's that caveman word again. I'm always coming back to this. But this is why we so often find the modern world so stressful. The primitive parts of our brain just haven't caught up with it. And so when the brain is constantly stimulated and it never gets downtime, something really crucial happens. Our attention becomes fragmented and we lose the ability to focus deeply. We become more restless and more mentally fatigued and more emotionally reactive. And, you're probably already mentally overloaded from years of juggling responsibilities, caregiving, work, decision making, all that emotional labor. So when the brain is overstimulated like this all day long, even small tasks can start to feel exhausting. And this is where boredom becomes surprisingly useful. Research shows that when external stimulation decreases, the brain activates something that's called the default mode network. Now, this is the brain system that's associated with reflection, creativity, memory processing, and problem solving. In other words, some of your best thinking happens when you stop constantly consuming. That is why ideas often appear when we're in the shower or taking a walk or while driving or folding the laundry or my favorite, stretching after a workout in the gym. These are the times when your brain finally has space. And that space, that boredom creates mental breathing space. Studies have also shown that constantly switching our attention, like checking your notifications every few minutes, this weakens our focus over time because the brain becomes conditioned to seek novelty instead of sustained attention. So when we do this, what we're actually doing is unintentionally training ourselves to struggle with concentration. That's wild, isn't it? So how do we actually use this boredom to improve focus? And as with so many things, you've got to start small. So you don't need to meditate up a mountain for 4 hours or completely unplug yourself for life. Instead, what you need to do is create tiny moments where your brain is not being stimulated. So you can do that by taking a walk without your phone, or just sitting in silence for a minute or two before you start your day. Or you could drive without listening to a podcast, or you could take a train ride and just stare out the window. Resist the urge to immediately fill every waiting moment. And at first, that might feel uncomfortable, and that's normal because your brain has become used to constant input. But over time, boredom stops feeling empty and starts feeling restorative. Your brain was never designed for non-stop stimulation. It needs pauses, stillness, reflection. It needs quiet moments where nothing is demanded of you. Your mind needs recovery in order to focus well. So the next time there's a pause in your life and you feel the urge to immediately reach for your phone and fill that silence or escape that quiet moment, just pause for a second. Let your mind wander. Allow a wee bit of boredom, because boredom is not wasted time. Sometimes it's the space where clarity, creativity, and focus quietly return. So thank you for listening. I really hope this is useful to you. Let me know how you're getting on with being bored. Please do share this with someone. I'd love it if you left a rating or maybe a review or maybe dropped a free quid in the Ko-fi jar. Thank you so much for your support. I'll talk to you soon.